Staying in Washington today, members of the Senate Judiciary Committee heard from a panel of witnesses regarding President Trump's nomination of Todd Blanche to be Attorney General. Blanche, who is currently serving as the acting Attorney General, was not present at this hearing. One of the witnesses you see here on the panel was a survivor of the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. She criticized nominee Blanche for failing to meet with survivors.
We are crime victims. For us, this has never been about politics. It has been about getting justice for the crimes committed against us. Mr. Blanche's actions have destroyed survivors' trust. According to public reporting, Mr. Blanche spent approximately 9 hours meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell. He did not even spend 9 minutes meeting with the survivor.
NBC News Chief Justice and National Affairs correspondent Kelly O'Donnell is with us now from Washington. Hi, Kelly. So there was a lot of focus today on whether or not acting Attorney General Blanche would meet with survivors of Jeffrey Epstein. Tell us more about what we heard.
It's become a key issue because it is now a condition for at least one of the Republican senators who is expressing some concern about moving forward with Blanche's nomination. The second day of these confirmation hearings is typically from hearing from others, as we saw today, who have information to bring to the committee, from the Democrats inviting some, Republicans inviting some. So this is typical for Blanche to not be there. But, of course, he was the top subject of all of this discussion. Part of this is because he has, up until this point, said he wanted his staff to meet with victims. And it has been a persistent concern expressed from the victims and survivors community that they want to meet with Blanche directly. In just the last hour or so, Blanche was on Capitol Hill saying he was trying to work out a meeting with survivors. But it is Thom Tillis, who is retiring from his seat out of North Carolina, a Republican, who made this an issue.
I have not made a final decision. But Mr. Blanche said very quickly yesterday that he would meet with the victims, the Epstein victims. I expect that meeting to occur before I'm willing to vote out of this committee. And I'm trying to get to yes, but this is a very important part of getting to yes.
So there appear to be signs that Blanche is trying to meet that condition, as the senator described it, as someone with the power to vote on his confirmation. But we're unclear yet why there is still some difficulty in making that happen. Is it scheduling? Is it availability? We just don't know yet. But if, in fact, Todd Blanche is saying he would meet directly with them, not just members of his staff at the Department of Justice, that could be a step forward. We'll keep an eye on this developing aspect.
Yeah. And again, Kelly, that would then potentially clear a path for him to advance through the committee.
At least with Senator Tillis. There are other concerns that have been expressed about the anti-weaponization fund and so forth. But this has become a key issue, and it's part of the larger national conversation about the impact of Epstein and how it could affect Todd Blanche's future.
Kelly O'Donnell for us. Kelly, thanks so much.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.